Okay, you're going to call the meeting to order. All those that can, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, roll call, please.
All board members are present.
Okay, next item is approval of the agenda. There's at your place in front of you, there's two additional sheets that are notifications of grant program application. I put all three of them together. And what's happened is we've had two senators and one representative all offer pretty much the same program. So it's an opportunity for a grant. And we're applying for we would like to apply for a grant, which we'll get to, but a grant that's for sewer, or not sewer, but water for two different areas. So I'd like to add those two additional ones, and that would be to item 9I. So there's one from Lisa McLean, one from Gary Peters, and one from Melissa Slotkin. Okay, that's all I've got.
I approve. So that's under consent?
No.
Oh, agenda. I approve. I make a motion to approve the agenda as corrected by adding the three grants under 9I.
Support. Moved and supported. Vote, please. Unless there's questions.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
Charlotte, yes.
Ms. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item is the consent agenda. Get a motion to approve.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support, Salvia. Moved and supported. Anybody have any questions on that? All right, vote please.
Mr. Sharlick,
Charlotte, yes.
Ms. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
All right, next item is announcements. The Highland White Lake Business Association's fundraiser Laughed at the Lift is on Saturday, March 14th at 5 p.m. at the Lift. The Highland DDA is hosting their biennial volunteer open house on Wednesday, March 18th at Steeple Hall, 205 West Livingston from 6 to 8 p.m. The Huron Valley Egg Hunt at Duck Lake Pines is on Saturday, March 28th, beginning at 10 a.m. Let's hope it doesn't snow. It's happened before. The tax foreclosure deadline for 2023 and or prior year taxes on March 31st, 2026. Any taxes not paid off by March 31st or action has not been made to enter into a repayment schedule with the Oakland County Treasurer's Office by this date, the property will be foreclosed. Township office will be closed Friday, April 3rd in observance of Good Friday. Spring cleanup will take place at both Highland and West Highland Cemetery from April 1st through April 15th. Any items that are intended to be kept or reused must be removed by March 31st. And then we have our second of a series of meetings called the Talk of the Town. That'll be on Tuesday, April 21st at 6 p.m. here in this auditorium. The topic is 2026 election preparations and changes, and that'll be handled by Tammy Flowers, the clerk. So the next item, public comment. This is just general public comment. If you want to comment on the public hearing for Woodland Ridge, that'll come right after this. So anybody have just a general comment they'd like to make? All right, we'll move on to the public hearing. This is for a special assessment district for Woodland Ridge subdivision for improvement of roads. So at this time, it's 6:34. Start the meeting or the hearing. All right, anybody have any comments from you'd like to make? Okay, push the button there.
Robert Lott, 1564 Turtle Creek. And I respectfully request the following statement be read into the record regarding the proposed special assessment district for Woodland Ridge subdivision. The signatures collected in support of the establishment of the special assessment districts were obtained based upon specific commitments made by the Woodland Ridge Homeowners Association during the meeting held at Highland Township Fire Hall on September 30th. The Homeowners Association statement the residents would be provided multiple contract quotes and would have an opportunity to vote on those on which road replacement option the community would proceed with. These options represented significant differences in cost and differences in the approach, the depth of the materials in certain areas of the subdivision. Contrary to those commitments, the Homeowners Association has independently selected a road replacement option without presenting the promised quotes, road replacement options, and conducting a community vote. This action directly contradicts the conditions under which the residents, many provided their signatures for the special assessment district. Because the signatures were gathered with the understanding that the residents would be allowed to vote on the final options, I believe that the signatures should be considered invalid unless the Homeowners Association conducts a community vote between now and the next meeting of this board. If the township moves forward with the approval of the special assessment district, despite the absence of this vote, it would be doing so on a basis of signatures obtained under misleading and incomplete representation. Thank you for ensuring this objection is entered into the public record.
Anybody else? I don't know if attorney, is it appropriate? Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
First button. That's on. You're fine.
I understand from the meeting.
We did receive it.
It's in the record because you submitted it. It's in here. Do you guys have any questions?
What was her name again? Okay.
Same thing.
Okay. That just because that's the email we have.
Signature on the
Yeah.
email is Dina.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, I have a question. Can I ask something? Am I allowed to ask?
Not right now.
No?
Never mind.
Okay. So only thing I had to add to what I put in the email was just that the road committee made the decision on which way to go based on fiscal responsibility. This project has been kicked down the road for a number of years. Right now, 30% of our roads need to go down 4 inches. We don't know if we're going to have to take out any aggregate. It's got a lot of crocodiling around there. We don't think we do, but as soon as you start having to take up your aggregate, your cost of your project goes up exponentially. So if we were to kick this can down the road for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years and just do patching, the amount of that project would go up quite a bit. And that comes from the G2, the president of G2, the consulting company. You know, the longer you wait, the more it's going to be. So we're trying to be fiscally responsible and also trying to return the roads to an as-built condition as they were put in over 20 years ago. So we're looking forward to keeping those roads for another 20 years and take a lessons learned where we'll start maintaining them as soon as they need it and not wait 18 years. And also get a road fund going so that no future board ever has to go through what we've went through in the last 2 years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The question I was going to ask is that we had individual that presented some information that we don't have. I'm not sure I want to close it yet because I want to give an opportunity for these folks to either stand up and say something. So my question would be, is there anybody that has something to refute the other gentleman's comments about inappropriate voting or lack of.
One more time. There you go.
Mark Pagliaroni at 1644 Turtle Creek. I think as most folks know, Dina is the president of the association. When her and the other two board members realized that because of the amount of money this was going to cost, they pulled together a road committee group. I'm one of those folks in that road committee. In the meeting that was referenced earlier, as Dina said, there was an expert there from G2. He highlighted all of the issues. We did outline everything that was going to occur as far as the process to get to the point of obtaining the 35 votes or the 70% required for the SAD. So I just want to say that from our perspective, we believe we followed everything that we promised we would follow.
All right. Anybody else want to kick anything in there? All right, I'm going to call the meeting.
Are there contrary opinions from the folks that are here regarding the first speaker?
That was one of them.
Okay.
You,
Name and address.
Terry Gardner, 1590 Wildflower Lane. I don't remember whether or not we were promised the opportunity to look at bids. Most of us are not qualified for that. That's why we had a road committee. I do know that at the meeting that Mr. Pagliaroni referred to, we were asked if we would support it. And we got most of the 35 needed at that point in time, which obviously was well before the going out for bids or anything else. So I can't speak to the veracity of the prior disputed comment, but most of the people understood what was needed and voted in favor of going in this direction. Thank you.
okay. Anybody else?
Hi, guys. Long time no see. As a neutral party and not required. As a neutral party in this, I don't live in that neighborhood or anything like that. The question I want to pose to the individuals on the HOA board is, would a month delay cause any big problems in this project to make sure that you have all the steps covered and prevent the air of impropriety being shown in this instance, just taking a month to do so? It wouldn't be that difficult. I mean, we're still in winter. There's not going to be any road construction in the middle of winter.
What?
Gary Boggs on 3160 Woodland Ridge Trail, part of the subdivision.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, you go.
You got to kind of get into it.
As part of our bid, we set a time frame for when the road paving companies could entertain doing the project. So we've already set a timeline for that's contained within those bids. And part of that also is factoring in trying to minimize any logistical hazards or problems for the residents. We wanted to minimize that as well. So trying to get it done, during without school being in session, so we don't have to deal with the school buses coming in and things like that. So that was part of the consideration. So perhaps a month might not seem like a lot, but it could potentially move it to the point where that company is no longer able to entertain the timeline of the bids and things like that. So the month seemingly doesn't seem like it could entertain a lot, but it really could. It could also impact a lot of what's going on in the subdivision based on the time that they actually start. So if we push it, we might end up now being into the school year a little bit longer and things like that. So it could have a much more impact on the neighborhood. The other question the other point that I would make too is that During our public or meeting with the subdivision residents, when we presented this back in September, we did provide what we estimated the bids would be going in different phases, whichever different options that we did. It was part of the PowerPoint presentation, and we presented. They were not official bids from a specific paving company, but they were based on people on the committee who have expertise in this area. And so we did provide in our PowerPoint presentation estimates based upon the options. And the bids have actually come in lower than that estimate. We also had an issue which we entertained with one of the bids based upon some contractual problems that we foresee, that we did not go with the lowest bid because of some of the concerns that we had with that company's ability to pave. So we went, the road committee decided to go with another company slightly higher. So it was considered, once we looked at the bids, which way we would go based upon the impact to the residents as much as we possibly could. Thank you.
All right, this isn't showing up very well, but all right, any more comments? All right, I'm gonna call the public hearing to an end at 6:46. And
do we have a copy of so basically I think we're going to start seeing more and more of these with road work coming to us, seems like whatever petition they was signed or whatever should be provided to the township, I would think, and the signatures and everything like that. Do we have that, or? Because I'm just interested in seeing what they signed, because it sounds like there's might be a little bit of a discrepancy about whatever they said. Maybe that's important, but they signed something that says something.
My main question would be, is anybody rescinding their signature?
What's that?
Is anybody rescinding their signature?
Right, but I want to just see what they signed, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but
okay. Okay, thank you.
I mean, if any of the residents have changed their mind, this would be the time for them to tell us.
Well, but I mean, I'm just saying, they agreed to something, right? And then they signed it, and then that's how it's got to be done legally, right? I mean, if you can't, once you sign something, it's kind of, if they said on here, I think it's important, whatever you sign, you got to read, right? So if they said on here that they're going to get so many bids and then they're going to put another vote out, then that's what it should say, right? So it seems like everything is the exact same one. Can I clarify? You want to let him comment again?
Yeah, you can.
So what you're looking at is a signature to advance a special assessment district.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a signature to say, this is the end product we are voting on. That the people were signing was to move the special assessment district. And I'm not refuting the fact that the roads need to be done. What I'm trying to ask the board to do is to follow through on what they said. There was a 4-inch, 2-inch option in there and a 4-inch option. It's 16,000 versus 19,000. I don't know about y'all, but that's a difference to me. I want this board to recognize the fact that people signed a special assessment district, not a final price. And that's what I'm asking you all to consider in my comments, is that when this was presented forward, people were under the understanding that they were signing to get to a special assessment district, because what we were trying to avoid was everybody having to pay out of pocket, because no bank is going to do this. And so the board, I appreciate what you're doing in terms of putting this out there and allowing us to do it on our taxes. My clarification is that I feel like that the signatures that were obtained for a special assessment district. And to Ms. Flowers' comments, not everybody that signed that is in this room. And so I don't think there's an understanding that the challenge tonight is not about whether or not the roads need to be done. I believe they do. The challenge tonight is, I believe we should vote between now and the next board meeting to ensure that all of the people understand together 50%, we agree that this $19,000 option versus this $16,000 option is the best way to go. I just wanted to clarify.
Go ahead.
So my understanding is that, yes, you guys signed the petition to move forward. We introduced it. And then you came up with quotes, which is a final price. And now you have the chance to send us letters or emails or comments to tell us that you don't want that price. And if we got enough opposition, oh, you can. I understand the point he's trying to make. I get it. And if I was a resident that didn't have a final say on the cost, but you do have a final say, and that's what this is.
David Olenek, 2053 Wildflower. I think the point he's trying to make here is said that we were going to be able to see the bids. I personally have not seen the bids, so I don't know if the cost is $1 or $100 million. I don't know what the cost is. So it might have gone to my wife, but I don't know. But the point I think he's trying to make is the bids have not been solicited to the homeowners. So with that, I think that's where he's getting at, saying, let the board present the bids to the homeowners, and maybe 30 days is too much. We shouldn't need 30 days, maybe 2 weeks. And so that we could have a chance to review it and say, hey, okay, I agree that the cost is going to be X. And then we go from there.
Okay, so I'm going to go back here a little bit.
Mr. Supervisor,
Yes,
can I make a comment?
please get right up to the microphone. Call it right to you.
The
Closer.
special assessment
Closer.
district process is controlled by the township board, not by the residents or the HOA or anybody else, because it's the township that's going to be assuming the responsibility and liability of putting this cost on the affected residents' taxes. So the residents signed a petition indicating they wanted a special assessment district. That is typically all that is done. And the township takes the process from there and runs with it, including obtaining cost estimates, deciding which properties are in and out of the district. In this case, it sounds like the HOA may have solicited at least a cost estimate. The township is not bound by that. If you think it's out of line or inappropriate or too much or not the right process, the township board has the right to go out and get its own quotes and cost estimates before moving on to the next step. That's why there's typically a public hearing once you have the final cost estimate determined. And again, it's only an estimate because construction costs change seasonally. So even the estimate is not necessarily going to be the final cost. There may be a change between the date the cost estimate is issued and the date the final contract is signed. So while I appreciate some of the residents understand that they thought they were going to get the chance to vote on what that final cost is, that's not how it works under state law for a special assessment district in a township. I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that.
So my thing is just, I think this is going to happen a lot. This is what I do for a living, is build roads and do infrastructure. And the county's not redoing any of our roads. I understand the need for it, but I think the process can be refined for us because there's a lot of work that goes into this. People I've seen it go and fail for a ton of communities. It kind of falls like right on the line. You got a lot of people that want to improve, some people that don't. I understand the cost increases over time, but everybody's at a different spot in their life. So I just don't know, they go through all the work to get the SAD created or, to start it, right? And then I don't know. I think these are going to have these things that people are voting on to get these things are going to have a little bit more in them probably so that, and I understand you can't really rule by committee, you can't have everybody vote on something, but I think this is probably one of many that we're going to see.
Well, here's what the attorney is getting at, which is in this petition. We, the undersigned, representing the record owners of more than 50% of the total land area within the proposed district, hereby petition the Charter Township of Highland Board of Trustees to contract to pave the private roads in Woodland Ridge under authority ML 41.721 as amended. In other words, you agreed that we would carry forward to make this happen. Now, the attorney said that we could have put it out for contract and came up with a price. And one of the things I did want to do is I wanted to commend whoever put this project together. It was very well done. I mean, it was very thorough. I have not seen any other SAD go through this much work to make this work. And the other thing is that the committee also went to the trouble to get a private organization, Huron Valley State Bank, to agree to fund the project. That's really difficult to do. Otherwise, if you'd have left it to the township, we'd have contracted with the county and this thing would have been significantly higher cost. And so by you guys taking that, your committee, whoever was assigned to this, by taking that responsibility on, went 5 steps above and said, we're going to look and see how we can make this happen more cost effectively. And I can tell you that we've watched it in other subdivisions where they voted against doing it because the county was involved and the cost went right off the chart. And so it just wasn't even financially feasible. This is it really financially feasible? But I like the one individual said, this is a thing that every day you wait, the costs go up significantly. And here's one, we just launched an oil war. And what are they going to be using? Oil for asphalt. So these numbers are going to be, look at them, are going to be shot in the dark again. And every day you mess around with it. And then the bank may decide that, over a certain period of time, if you can't come up with a consensus on this thing, that they'll pull their offer to loan. And then the whole thing goes down the toilet. So for us to wait for another month, we're not going to, I would say I'm not going to call a special board meeting to verify the signatures when what I read here is that you've agreed to the township to take control of this and to make it happen. You guys did us a favor by having your committee come up with the whole process of finding the people to finance it, finding the right costs to do things. And I will say that if somebody is wondering about the difference between $16,000 and $19,000 and 2 inches and 4 inches, 2 inches is paint. 4 inches is getting close to being the paving. 2 inches is what you see put on M59 and all these roads that you see that the state and that do. And what happens to that? It peels off in just a few years. So it's important to do the project right. It is not an easy thing to have everybody in the subdivision to look at it and try and make an analysis of what they want to pay for it. So committee is, personal opinion, is more the correct way to handle it. I'm sorry if some of you feel like you've been misled, but what I read there is there's no misleading whatsoever. Right from the get-go, it states exactly what is going on, that the township board makes that decision. If you don't want to do it, then stand up and say, we don't want to do the project, and we'll vote no. But I see a very limited number of people that, and even the gentleman that wanted to have more conversation about it, said he would like to have it done. So it's not like you don't want to do it. So that's my conversation on this. So what? Yeah. All the paperwork, you mean? Multiple scenarios. I don't know. It seems like this was emailed to us. I'm sure somebody could have was emailed to everybody else. I'm assuming. I don't know.
And she said they're on their website.
It might be in here. I don't know. Well, the bank had something to do with it, so. Correct? So let's get back to that. Go ahead, sir.
Just for the record, the three bids that we did get are their official bids from three different paving companies. They went out in a newsletter to every homeowner and they're posted on our HOA website. Four bids.
So this is the letter from the bank stating that they're going to loan up to $1,200,000. What was the amount of the bid?
So the bid that we went with is, I think, 1,008,000. But we do have a road fund, about 160, I think, to 180. I don't have the treasury report with me. So we were going with the collection through the taxes at 950, and anything above that will come out of our road fund. So the road fund is to make sure that we went with 950,000 for the township to help collect through the bank. Because we didn't want the roll, when you guys developed the roll, I guess, at the next meeting, we wanted to make sure that that amount on that roll is what we end up with at the end, because it would be a nightmare if we went under or over, you know. So we went to 950, and then anything above the bills coming in over 950 is going to come out of our road fund. And then any contingency, if we've got bad weather, if we've got a strike on our hands or something, we want to be able to cover the project that way. We hired G2. It's a consulting company, and they helped develop the bid package that went out to the four contractors. The four contractors were T&M, Allied, Nagel, and Cadillac. You probably recognize some of those names. We went with Nagel. Again, it was the second highest, but there was some things that we didn't like in Allied. So that's how we decided where we went. We started meeting with the township. Our first meeting was a year, like 2024. And we didn't get a good feeling that we would be able to work through the township. So we were going to do the project on our own, collect 5,000 a year for the next 5 years. But after we had the July meeting where that presentation was from, that was from our annual meeting in September. We had a July meeting and got a lot of feedback. We had a lot of people attend, about half the subdivision. That's when the road committee went from 4 people to 9 people. Because the people that had complained and wrote letters, I said, join the road committee. So we had a lot of meetings, did a lot of work, and that's how we put together the presentation addressing all the concerns that came out in July, and came up with what we thought was the best solution was the SAD, because we have some people that just want to write us a check. I've been told half the subdivision is just going to write a check. That's why we went with the 2 amounts. They just want to pay and be done with it. They don't want to pay interest, but we have a lot of families that are new. So we thought we need an option for them. So we went the SAD. And on top of that, if people don't pay, I'm not going to have my house egged because I placed a lien on their house. You know, I've been through this before with other subdivisions where people don't pay their dues and you got to put liens on. And quite frankly, I don't have the time to do that anymore. So we've been working really close with the township, following their lead. We met with Jennifer and Beth quite a bit. So if there's any other subdivisions that come forward, give them my name and number and I'll walk them through what they need to do. So.
The thing you look at here was that
annual meeting in September.
and this signed in November.
Yes.
Okay.
Because.
And there's numbers on here of 1.6, 1.8. This is like substantially lower than what was talked about.
Best
Right,
estimate given to us by G2 last July.
Yeah. No, I'm just
We're
saying,
not-
I mean, these
we're
numbers
not-
are less money. They're not more money.
Put numbers out there. We do want to go out for bids because you don't want to go out 3, 4, 5 times to some of these contractors. And based on some of the information we got. One of our board members who's not here owns a civil engineering company, and we're taking her. She does this for a living. She does huge subdivisions, and she said the best time to put your bids out there is January. You wanted to hit that January date, get those out, get them back. We needed to have a number for you guys by February 2nd in this meeting. So we have actual bids, we have our actual contract. So just trying to pave the way and make it easier. My understanding from the annual meeting, you know, we have a committee. We took all the information, the committee went out and did the work, and we assumed that the people would trust the committee to make the best thing. It's not just 3 board members. There were 8 or 9 of us on this. So that's it. Thank you.
All right.
Is there any consensus of the residents that can have looked at that differential that was spoken about? Is that a showstopper as far as the difference in per unit? How many people may object to that? Can't hear you.
I don't think that's not. I think the contest on this is the interpretation of the signatures and what they meant. Well, whether they were voting to move forward with a special assessment or whether they were voting to have the project done. And that's kind of what it boils down to. But I think if you read the document that was signed, it basically says it's in our balls in our court now. So the presentations that have been done by the subdivision have pretty much put it together. They've gone to the bank. They've got money available. It's our decision whether we want to move forward with that or not. We're not picking the contractor. If we pick the contractor, there would be a whole different picture. They don't have to debate anything. No, it's all set.
We contract with them, but we're not choosing the vendor here.
We collect the money and pay the invoices from the money collected. That's our contract.
What I said was the board would have the right.
Speak into the mic.
The board would have the right to go out and get quotes. You're not obligated to. If you believe that what has been provided by the HOA is appropriate.
Okay.
Can I add that, so this is a multi-step procedure. We did the first step at our last meeting. This is the second step. And there will be a third step where we approve the role. And I just want to clarify, Cassie, I have a question for you. Is that planned to be on the next meeting in April? Would you take a look at the wording on this and make sure it's what I just glanced at and it says something about a May meeting. Oh, okay. So it is on the May meeting? Correct. So we're good with the wording. Okay. So we have until May 10th, is it? And just to clarify the comment earlier about people rescinding their signatures, the notice went out, whether people could be here or not, didn't prevent them from speaking up and saying, no, I don't want to be in this. That could have happened anytime after they received the notice. They could do it in writing or in person, anytime in the office here. So tonight wasn't the only option is what I'm trying to say.
All right. So I'm going to move this thing forward because like there's still another step to this, but we should have been doing this discussion after this. So I'm going to make a motion to approve resolution 26-08 to proceed with the Woodland Ridge subdivision special Assessment District for the improvement of subdivision roads pursuant to 1954 PA 188 as amended.
Support.
Okay, now any other discussion on this? On the board? All right, no discussion, then we'll vote, please.
Ms. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Charlotte,
Charlotte, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Like I say, are you as confused as you can be now? I mean, the ball's still rolling and it's rolling in the right direction. I know there's always some people that it's a big chunk of change. I don't care who you are. It's not pocket change by any shake, and not everybody is in the same position to feel comfortable with it. But I think that it's one of those things that if you don't do something with that road now, it'll end up gravel. And that's one of the things the county's actually talked about is if your road, especially your road's a private road, but if it was a county road, they could come in and say, okay, if you don't want to do it, we're going to put the grinder to it and turn it into gravel. And you don't have any say about it. So you could put up a fuss and have them pave it, but then you're going to pay 3 times as much probably as what you're paying right now. So, or about to pay. So it's, this whole road thing is a nightmare for the entire country. So on that note, we've done what we can do tonight. So there's another meeting that'll finalize this stuff. And thank you guys for turning out. And if you want to, you can head out the door at this time and we'll carry on with our other business.
Mr.
So-
Supervisor, can I make one final point?
Put your microphone right up to you.
Once the assessment roll is prepared, it will be available for the residents to come in and look at and see exactly how much they will be assessed and how it's going to be spread out, what the payment schedule is. If they have a problem with it, they can come to the May 4th meeting and object to it at that time. That will be the final meeting, the final hearing in the process of creating the SAD. So you still have another chance to object if the finances turn out to be not at all what you expected. So as Rick said, this is not done by any means. Yes, but again, because it's a statutory process, the board has to prepare the actual assessment roll, what will go on each property owner's taxes. And there will be a public hearing on that at the May 4th meeting. So the residents can still object to that at that point. The township has to. They're required to.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
We are. That we are. So we don't normally do payoffs prior to a special assessment district. This was an option that Woodland Ridge wanted and also other SADs. So for them to come in with a final number to put on that final approval, they have to know how many people are paying it off up front. And we physically have to have the money. It can't just be, oh, I'm going to pay it off, because if it doesn't work, then you haven't taken out enough money for the project. So if it fails, we would return all the money.
if 10 people step up or 20 people step up and pay in full, then the final amount that will be levied against the properties will be different. So that's why you have to, the April 10th thing is critical, because you got to know what's that number going to be that we have to apply to the people who are going to pay through the SAD. So if you're paying cash, you're affecting it, but you won't be taxed on it. In other words, it won't show up on your tax bill because you've paid in advance. But anybody who hasn't paid in advance, it'll show up on their tax bill for the next 10 years or whatever the time frame is.
So there are two payment options will be offered to the owners of the parcels of land to be assessed. Taxpayers may choose to deposit $19,190 as payment of the assessment on or before April 10th, 2026. All other taxpayers will be assessed an estimated $27,830 payable in 10 equal installments of $2,783 due with the winter tax bill each year for 10 years. So if you were to pay up front, you would not have to pay the interest on the loan.
But it also doesn't show up on your taxes. Yeah. Well, actually, this is part of the resolution that we just passed.
And at our counter, where if we take any payments, we're taking name, address, parcel number, so that we have a list of who has paid.
And then they'll be put in escrow. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We're going to move on.
Thank you.
Hang on to that. Please. All right. Next item is to get this thing moving here. When we purchased the property for the Southwest Hickoridge Park, there's a farmer who was leasing the property at the time and lapping it. So he'd like to continue to have access to farming the property. And so what I'd like to do is attached to this is a lease agreement with the farmer, which he's approved, and our attorney has had put the lease agreement together. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the supervisor to sign and execute the land ground lease agreement between Charter Township of Highland and Giggler Farms LLC for agricultural use of township-owned property, parcels 1130-200-019, 1130-200-018, and 1130-200-011.
Support.
Okay, now the lease is for 2 years, rent's $160 an acre. It's approximately $6,400 annually, payable after harvest, no later than December 31st of the crop year. It's for agricultural use only, no subleasing, assignment, or improvements without prior written township approval. The insurance tenant's required to carry $1 million commercial general liability insurance, naming the township as additional insured. The tenant indemnifies and holds the township harmless to the fullest extent permitted by law, and the property is leased as is with maintenance and compliance obligations placed on the tenant. So the lease agreement's much more in depth. So that was a motion.
Support.
Supported. Questions? Okay. I did this twice here. There we go.
The Giggler is in Heartland, right? The Giggler that's in Heartland.
Speak into the microphone.
The Giggler that's in Heartland.
Yes. All right. Roll, please.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Sylvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
Charlie, yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. The next item, this is about, a contract to put in, I'm just gonna make the motion. Motions to authorize the township supervisor to sign and execute the estimate and contract for Smart Lighting LLC in the amount of $9,396 for installation of a fire alarm system at the Highland Activity Center with funding from Line Capital Improvements 401-264-971.021-209 North John Street Improvements, which currently has a balance of $20,000.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Just to clarify what this is the activity center is not connected to our fire alarm system in this building. So if a fire alarm goes off in here, they have no clue over there that anything's happening. So this is to get the two systems connected together. The fire department has already used Smart Lighting LLC in 2 fire halls. And this is a vetted business. So they already know what we have in this building as well. So they're going to, this will be the best scenario to make this happen. Okay. Any questions? Vote.
Okay, Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
Charlie, yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
Mr. Supervisor, before it slips my mind, the traffic, the lights lighting up on Hickory Ridge and Dunham, the light is out. I just want to make, who do we notify about that?
The lights.
The light, the street light, the overhead light.
Supervisor's office.
All right. It's been out and my wife said, don't forget to bring it up. So I'm bringing it up so I don't forget it.
Duly noted. We'll have that light removed immediately.
I'm always in the dark somewhere.
You know, have anybody been to Sedona, Arizona? Okay, Sedona, Arizona is what they call a dark sky community.
I miss getting home 12 times because the light wasn't out. I just kept driving.
Back in 2013 or 14, I tried to see if I could convert Highland to a dark sky community. I almost was made dark myself. But I did get reelected. Yeah, but I gave up on that one. But the irony is that we light a lot of weird places. You know, like a perfect one is East Highland. Every one of those parking lots is lit to the nth degree, and you got these stupid lights on 59 that we're paying for. Light what? They just add more cost to everything. So in 2014 or so, we were paying, I believe the number, we had 147 lights and the cost was $47,000 a year for electricity for street lights. Immediately when you leave East Highland, what happens? Not a light anywhere. State land. Never heard anybody complain about they can't see. Because your car lights are designed to work in a way that you don't need those lights, you know. So anyways, we need to be looking at dark sky if we can do it. So there's
Sorry, Joe, is what he's saying. Sorry.
this is my I'm on a campaign. You started something, Joe, now. But I'm gonna shut up because I owe you something else and we won't talk about that. I owe you some lights.
And
I owe him some lights. So
don't let
anyways, okay, let's move on. Where were we?
We're on D, consider resolution 2605 to determine intent to form Flynn Drive.
Yeah, there we go. This is better conversation. Sorry, Joe. Got me going.
Right. Good evening. Good evening.
Name and address, please.
Michael McGlinchey, 4259 Flynn Drive. I am here tonight representing a majority of the 20 homeowners on Flynn Drive. which is the peninsula on Duck Lake. We have the single lane access road, Flynn Drive, which we're here to submit our resolution of intent to have it widened to a point where we will maintain fire, rescue, and other services. I did submit a project summary. I don't know if it's still in your kit, but it basically outlined that we have erosion that continues to wear it away, and the need is to widen it to 16 feet in certain areas, a 480-foot stretch. Also in that packet, there's a kind of a visual. So we are hoping that the township will approve our request for a SAD to do just that, improve the road so it is compliant with emergency services and other heavy-duty vehicles.
This is a really important thing. I'm dead serious.
Indeed, yes.
I used to go out there as a kid with some friends had their grandfather owned a house on the end, which was they called it a lighthouse. That road was bad then, and I'm not sure if it isn't built on some kind of tires or who knows what they made that thing with, but yeah, it needs it badly.
That was a long time ago.
Yep. A couple years ago. So,
All right.
all right.
Is there anything else? No.
Currently, we don't have that information because we're just tentatively determining the intent.
Okay.
So next time we'll have all of it.
All right. Then that's all I had to present. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I make a motion to approve resolution 26-05, tentatively determining intent to form the Flynn Drive Special Assessment District for the improvement and maintenance of Flynn Drive and related services pursuant to 1954 PA 188 as amended.
Support.
Can moved and supported. Any questions? All right, vote please.
Let's see, Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Charlotte,
Charlotte, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Frederick, yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes, Mr. Salvia,
Sylvia, yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
It's still going to be like one lane, isn't it? I mean, only in Highland, I mean, we have I don't think there's a
Will it be wide enough
straight
to
line
in
in
the
the
center stripe?
So there was I'm going to throw this in just for humor. Went on a motorcycle trip down in West Virginia. And one of the things when you drive around the country, you realize that different states mark their roads differently. So in West Virginia, if it's got white lines on the outside and hashed or white lines in the middle or yellow lines in the middle, that's a main road. When you get to the secondary road, the white line or yellow lines in the middle disappears. And then when the white lines on the side disappear, you can't get there from here. That was, and I'll tell you where that came from. We got on this road, all the lines disappeared, and I looked at my buddies and I said, end up on a track somewhere we probably shouldn't be. And sure enough, it ends at this little modular home, and there's a gentleman there with a little bare naked baby in his arm and a bunch of kids running around. And I said, we're looking for such and such a road. And I said, I've got my GPS says I can get through here. And he goes, you can't get there from here. And then I said, what? He says, I'm telling you, mister, if I can get this far, I'll go that way. But you can't get there from here. And then around the guys are going, dun, 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 dun. And I said, I think it's time to leave. So hopefully you'll have maybe 2 white lines. So that'll to find it that it's still okay to go there. But anyways, sorry about that, but you're victims. All right. Next
I
item.
would suggest like between every 2 hours, you have a one way and then 2 hours coming back.
Thanks again, guys. We appreciate it. All right. Next item. Where my sheet go here? Is consider agreement. Okay, so every 2 years, I think it is, we do an environmental cleanup program. And this is a request to authorize the township to sign the ERG Environmental Services proposal. So I'll go ahead with it. Make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the ERG Environmental Services proposal as presented. Funding will be from budget line 22-526-967.000 refuse. It's a community service project.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Anybody have any questions? It's a great event. I mean, it keeps that stuff out of the woods.
They're a very, very efficient group. Very efficient.
Yep. All right, vote please.
Mr. Howe?
Yes.
Mr. Charlotte?
Charlotte, yes.
Ms. Frederick?
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia?
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, the next item relates to the fire department. You want me to just carry it forward, or do you want to speak on this? All right, I'll do it for you. I'll save you some trouble. So in ultimate wisdom, the county changed its radio systems, and this is a request from the fire department to authorize implementation of the new simulcast radio system. So the previous system will be null and void. In order for the fire department to stay in direct contact with the county, we need to move to their system. So there's a resolution attached to this for approval. So somebody want to take that one from there?
I make a motion to approve resolution 26-09, approving P25 simulcast system interlocal agreement between the county of Oakland and the township of Highland.
Support. Okay, moved and supported. Anybody have any questions?
Is this just like a channel that we're gonna be on, or is this a cost, or what is this?
We pay our cost. We have our broke up Oakland County agreement. Basically we went from a system called Open Sky, and now the county switched over to this P25 simulcast system. So with that comes a new agreement. It's basically stating that if there's any major costs, they'll send those costs out. It'll get reflected in our yearly cost type of aspect of things. It's the agreement that if there's any issues with how Highland Township uses the radio system, I'm a representative for discussing and disputing those events, aspects like that, and saying that our township's going to be responsible and use it for the intended purposes it's there for, type of thing. It's pretty much the same exact agreement as we had before. It's just for the new radio system. Yeah, it's the same ones we've already switched to. They're just waiting until the system was up, running, and finalized before they sent out a new agreement. So the Open Sky is completely shut off now. There's no more using that system anymore. So now that one system's down, most of the bugs are worked out, and everything's up and running with the P25 system. They've got the new agreement out. So that way everybody falls into that. Basically, until everything was submitted, it was just we were continuation of the old until that was completely shut down. The cost all come into our county costs, which come in, they do I think it's 4 or 6 years. They issued that. We just re-signed that beginning of last year, I believe. So it tells us every year it's going to cost Highland Township this much for the radio system and catting, issues like that.
Okay, so time for a vote, right?
Yeah, we have an action, so ready to go.
Ready to roll.
Mr. Sharlick,
Sharlick, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Snow,
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Yes.
Okay. It passed or whatever.
Okay, next item. This is a grant for what we commonly call scuba gear, only for the firefighters. And this is a request to for a grant. Oh, I got to pay, which we require. So this is if you look at the second page of your that file there, that it's a notification of grant program application. So in there, it's a request for an amount from 300,000 to $1 million, and you're going to do this with multiple.
Yes, this will be a regional grant. It's got us, Heartland, and Springfield. So far, we're looking to bring in all the special rescue teams, the hazmat team, possibly the SSRT team, and any other fire departments that want to join. Actually, the goal is to get it as close to $1 million as possible because there's a cap on it. And normally when they award the grants, they start with the highest numbers and work their ways down. As long as everything's, so if we come in too low, like only a couple $100,000, if they're out of money for SCBA grants, we won't get it, even though we did a good grant. So
and the match is the match of 20% is spread over the entire district.
We would be the fiduciary for it, but we all have MOUs signed by whoever joins that they're responsible for their portion of that 20%.
All right.
MOUs or memorandums of understanding for that they're responsible for that portion once we get the prices of everything.
I make a motion to authorize Chief Nick George to apply for the 2026 Assistance to Firefighters Grant for the replacement of our departments or the fire department's self-contained breathing apparatus units.
And have the supervisor approve it.
And allow the supervisor to sign the application.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Any discussion? Vote, please.
No, she has discussion.
I have a comment. I have a comment. I was just going to mention that this being a federal grant, we don't take in a lot of federal dollars, but and in any year that we take in over $750,000, we have to do a single audit, which is an additional cost of like $15,000. Now, you're only saying this could go up to $1 million and maybe it'll be spread over a couple of years. Or the other possibility is that we would also be receiving some of this other grant money, which would put us in that position anyways. But just FYI.
I'll make sure to budget for that if I hit that part with my 2 grants.
There's no, because I know we'll get to this a little bit later, but with the fire department specifically, there's no additional, other than what you're talking about, there's no additional things that get put on us by the federal government, like bargaining agreements or pay requirements, or we have to use a specific vendor or something like that.
When we put in for the grant, I'll put in the vendor that goes to.
Okay.
There's basically only 2 vendors to go with for SCBAs right now. MSA and Scott. You can go to different fire departments. You'll get each one saying this one's better than this one. It's just whatever they normally use most often. Basically, we'll just go with the consensus of all the departments that join of what brand they want to go with and go with that. The prices are all comparable with each other. The systems are comparable with each other. The only difference is a little bit of comfort here and there in the way it fits on the body, the way the mask works, things like that. But they both do the same features, the same safety features that we're looking for to improving from our pack.
Okay. Next up. Vote.
He doesn't know.
I give up. I'm lost already on that. No.
There's a possibility of that, yes. Yeah.
Or that could be our portion of it. I'm not sure how he listed it.
You like me to answer?
Any federal.
Total amount received in 1 year.
Yes,
No, it's the request on the grant. It's listed as, let's see, complete grants, new grant.
300,000 to $1 million.
This form that we've got is for in-house purposes. In other words, this is so that one of us doesn't show up at the table with this idea of applying for a grant and then nobody's aware of how that's going to be handled. So this is an approval
to proceed
document only to say, go ahead. But your point is that it doesn't really say that it's shared other than the district match involved in there. So,
Right. And I wasn't sure if the 300 to 1 million was the total for all the communities or just our portion of the total. So we'll see how it plays out.
all communities, that's right? That's a total for
That
all.
would be the total for all communities. The thing would be, if we say we went for the whole million, max out of pocket would be 80% of that. And then with that, Highland would be considered the fiduciary. So we would be the one taking in that $1 million and spreading it, purchasing all the equipment, and then collecting the other funds to reimburse their 20% from the other municipalities. So if we did the full million, Highland, we would be part of that fiduciary responsibility. It would be like we brought in $1 million to Highland Township. It wouldn't, so it would count for all of it, even though part of the other communities are involved in it.
Okay, so
And part of the
we've never been a pass-through before for federal money. I'm not sure how that affects the single audit. I'd have to ask the auditors.
we would just show where the money went to.
Yeah, just, but it still may bump us into
Another
the
category.
single audit category.
I would more than, I'd probably 75 to 90%. Sure, it would bump us into that category.
Well, in any event, this is a different process because we're bringing multiple communities together, units together. So we'll have to have our attorney definitely be involved in drafting that agreement. So,
Well, and what Tammy was just bringing to the board's attention, because we haven't gone over the 750,000 before. And before us, not only your single grant, there's 3 other ones that, and so she was just bringing it up to let everybody know that we were thinking of it and that they got a cost on it, a potential cost. And
We're prepared.
yes,
Okay,
potential additional costs. All right. Where are we at?
ready to vote?
Ready to vote.
Okay. Yes. All right, Ms. Frederick.
yes,
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Charlotte,
Charlie, yes.
Mr. Himmel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next item. Back a few years ago, in fact, my first term, we had, did we do any safer grants since you've been in?
No,
I think that
this will be the first.
the only one was
that I've applied for.
Doug, I think. So what happens is there's a thing called a safer grant, which is staffing for adequate fire and emergency response. And it allows for money to be able to hire additional staff for over a period of time. I think this is like 3 years. And what ends up happening, there's a certain match in the first 2 years, is 25% or something. And
They will cover up to 75% for the first 2 years and then 35% for the third.
right. So Chief has kind of been we're trying to look forward to the future component of we're trying to build our team moving forward. We kind of have to wait until we find out what happens with our millage to move to where we need to be with more full-time people. This safer grant opens an opportunity to be able to hire these individuals earlier, and then be able to factor the cost down to where we can afford it with the finances we have already. So you want to put any more detail to that, or?
That's pretty well, actually very well spoken. You get it, hit it right on it. So that way we can millage whether it goes through or however much we can set it through, we haven't been able to figure out yet. So getting that process going to be able to have a secondary option to make it more affordable for our citizens and being able to put more into savings and being able to make sure we can afford everything we need for the fire department, not increasing everything as much as we need to. This would help significantly. So,
Okay.
I make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the grant application submitted by Chief Nick George for staffing for adequate fire and emergency response safer grant. What is that? Okay.
Support. Okay, moved and supported. Any discussion?
Same comment as before.
That one's 2 million.
Yeah.
Well, here's the interesting part of this. If by some chance all of this happens this year or next year, then it's only going to cost $15,000 for all of it. So each year that you have the grant in action or whatever, as long as you're not going over the 750. But
So when they say that match, does that match go above and beyond our current stuff, or can we use our current funding? How does that work?
for the safer grant.
Either any of either one.
So the match is, so the SCBA one is 80-20. So we put in a bid for, we need say $800,000. They'll give us 80% of that. We have to cover the other 20.
Okay. What about for the staffing?
The staffing one, they'll cover up to 75% depending on how we write it. So if it costs $1 million for the employees, they'll cover 75% of that the first 2 years and 35% the last year, up to 75 or 30.
But what I'm saying is that go above our current budget right now?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with our current budget.
Okay.
The only thing that'll cost us in our budget is that 35 or.
But we can use money out of our current budget.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Yep. Yeah,
And
we
the employees will be paid for, and we're only paying 25% versus their 100% of their pay.
I just didn't know if you had to prove that you had to bring in new money to be able to cover.
No, you write a plan with it of how you plan on like increasing millages and, run volume increases, all that stuff will show our increase to show that we're working on bringing ourselves up to that value to be able to take it over.
Yeah.
That's all written in I believe written in the safer grant of how you're going to transition to be able to keep the employees. And there's also options for renewals of those safer grants too. So if you're not quite there yet, you can ask for a renewal and continue it going. There's been multiple departments that do 2 to 3 runs of safer grants before they ever even put the people on officially fully.
The previous safer grant, I think, worked out. I will say that your team is going to have to be very diligent about the bookkeeping of that.
Right. Because
we prefer not to have it tossed onto our side until we have all the numbers. And there was significant bookkeeping involved in it. And that was one of the little minor.
Just making sure Robin doesn't get bored.
Yep.
Got it.
So we want her to keep working. We don't want her to quit. So, all right. So time for a vote.
I just had one more request. Just assuming if we were to be rewarded or awarded, and assuming it does increase our staffing level, at that point when we're ready to hire new people based on some grant money, I would hope that you would bring us a plan to say, all right, we're going to use some grant money and this is how we're going to transition off of grant money when it ends. So that's just putting it out there. That's what I hope to see.
No problem.
I think you've already figured that out. So you probably need to put it on paper and send it to the clerk. All of us actually, but because that is one of the things, if you want to know that you're at the end of the 3 years, you're not going to have to fire somebody. You don't want to have to let them go.
I don't want to have to.
And the object with what you're trying to do in my conversation with you on this is to get some employees that we do need earlier than what the resources will be coming in from the the millage. So
Possibly, in in case, depending on when we do get a millage, it's, we're gonna have to go for an increase to get these employees. But
Right.
depending on when that happens, to try to make it so it's not as significant. With that millage increase and everything is also our, requirement to have a certain amount of savings account to offset in case something goes wrong. There's a lot of other factors than just the employee cost. So it'll make it, to keep it as little of an impact as possible on the citizens.
Okay.
No matter what I do, it's going to be an impact, obviously, but it's to keep it as feasible as possible is what we're trying to do.
All right. Put together a plan for us.
Not a problem.
And all right, vote.
All right, Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Charlotte,
Yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, the next item is consider authorization to apply for a grant for wrong one, a grant for community project funding. What we have kind of in process is the school, the new middle school and the high school, and that has been trying to find a way to get water. We are getting water over to this school here with the Sheets project. And there's also an opportunity to try and get water to Spring Mills School, which will help complete this loop on our water system on the east side, and also supply water to the subdivision there that will be going in there in the next year or two. And so what's come about is there's today, actually, yesterday, we got two additional opportunities for what's basically the same grant. So what you'll see in your packet there is that there's 3 applications for a grant in the amount of $6 million. It is the grant name of the grant is congressionally directed spending. So we've gotten an opportunity from which is like we need an answer at this meeting to do this. Lisa McLean, our representative in the House of Representatives in Washington, was the first one. And this morning we had Gary Peters, Senator Gary Peters, and Senator Alyssa Slotkin have both come up with virtually the same request. If you have some request for grants. So what we thought we'd do is we just apply for the same thing with all 3 of them, and maybe we'll get one of them or a portion of it or something. But the rationale behind this is that there's a couple of things to it. One is it'll become a federal project, which does add cost to it, but the object is to get the grant to cover those additional costs. So you have to end up doing everything with U.S. made products. You got a higher wage scale, you got to pay that type of thing. It does have a tendency to reduce the local contractors that might want to bid on it. But the point is that we're trying to get this project done where the taxpayers individually in Highland get some assistance from the federal government on this, instead of us having to go out for a bond to make this happen. And in the schools, there's a match required of 25%. No, that's not the one. 20 to 25%. And those are all the same. Huron Valley Schools has, we've had this conversation with them already, talked about how we can work together to connect water. We already have engineering that's pretty much been done for years that takes that district into place. So our engineering costs should be pretty low. And it's basically the potential for a shovel-ready project, which is what they like to see. So that's, I think,
So
wanna
we're
make a
basically
motion?
just, we're applying for it right now. We're not like,
Right.
we would obviously, but I mean, I've dealt with this with a lot of different communities, some really close neighboring ones. And the only thing I would say is we just really got to make sure if we do use federal money that we have very good engineering and
Yeah.
all the loopholes are closed, because some local communities around here have done this recently. It added almost 50% to the cost, and the jobs have gone almost 30% over budget because the contractors that bid on it know that it's 100% low bid no matter what. And if they find a problem, they're going to like just cause the biggest blister you've ever seen, because that's how they make that's how the money.
Right.
Is it lowest bid though? Because can it be lowest bid with stipulations
Well,
as if
well, yeah.
you get their references and see that they've done
Yeah,
it?
I mean,
That's how our
nobody-
federal funding has been in the past.
it is, but I mean, basically you have to, the burden's on the customer to basically disqualify them. So, I mean, you can write all these things. You have to put in so many 1,000 feet of water main. But I mean, nobody's, most of these contractors, they put in that many. And so you're not going to really disqualify them. They are like, I know the village right now is rewriting their purchasing policy to align with federal, but give them more wiggle room because they've taken some money recently. And they just had a project that didn't go the best. And so they're rewriting it. And I don't know. I think I mentioned that at a couple meetings. That might be something we want to look at, is just giving, because it basically gives you the ability to grade the contractor more than just saying, well, you've defaulted on these 3 projects, you can't do it, right? It gives the community a little bit more flexibility to say, yeah, you're from, Ohio, like you lose some points in our category.
All right. Well, I think that's something we need to get some assistance with, but unfortunately, yeah, we're not gonna get anything from it. And the thing is that they, the one from Lisa McLean was originally supposed to be submitted by April 12th or something like that. And then they switched it up to the 4th, I think or 6th of March. Friday. Yeah. So, they do this crap and then, you wonder what, so we're in a position where we kind of have I think we got a pretty good direction at calling it shovel ready. Doesn't mean that we don't have to get our ducks in a row, that's for sure. But at least this gives us an opportunity to go ahead and go after them. And if we got 3 congressmen that are putting this up in front of us, let's see if 3 of them can give us $6 million each, then we're all going to go on vacation. But that's not going to happen. But at least there'll be evidence that Highland Township is looking for something. And so that's what we're looking for.
Do you want 3 motions?
I think one motion to approve the signature on 3 applications.
I make a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign the grant applications for the community project funding up to 6 million with Congresswoman McLean.
Peter.
The congressional directed spending with Senator Alyssa Sklotkin.
Yep.
Up to 6 million, and the congressional directed spending up to 6 million with Senator Gary Peters.
Support Sylvia.
Okay, moved and supported. Vote, please.
All right. Mr. Salvia,
Sylvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Charlotte,
Charlotte, yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes, Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, the next item, we had a meeting with Sheets when was that? Last week. And they're moving forward, and one of the things that they're doing for us is allowing us to have a replacement for our digital sign within their sign. So, but the sign that we have, the old one, it's not something you want to stick in a brand new sign in it. We've already had to repair it a couple of times, but the intent with that one is we'll move it over to the library and put it where the existing sign is today, which is about ready to fall over because it's rotted off. I don't know if anybody realizes that. Our sign guy, Peter, went out there and put a couple of posts on each end of it to keep it standing upright. So what we need here is, I'd like to make the motion to allow the supervisor to purchase a new digital sign to be placed at 155 West Highland Road from Stewart Signs in the amount of $23,724.32 to be charged to budget line 401-261-971.005 under Township Lighting and Signage, contingent upon attorney review and approval of the agreement and easement with sheets.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. Any discussion? All right, vote please.
I do have a question. Are we going to have a contract with Sheets for maintenance of the sign and all that?
I think the maintenance is our responsibility.
Right.
That's what the easement's for.
Yeah, we're going to have something in writing on that. Okay.
James? That don't count. Come on. No. Yes. In fact, the sign that we have, the current one, was purchased in 2015. And it had supposedly a system for doing that, and it would never work. And so you have to pick your colors to try and, if you get white in there, you're going to have a burnout. I mean, it's fine in the daylight. So, but the newer signs, much better. We paid $28,000 for that sign in 2015, and this one's $23,000, and it's bigger, it's longer, just about the same height, but better resolution, higher resolution, which will help too. So, all right, vote please.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
Yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Sylvia, yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
When we tortured the golf course, right? We just took it right to the end, didn't we? Thanks for sticking out. Okay, so this is kind of a completion of the process we started at the last board meeting. And so I'm going to make the motion to adopt ordinance Z038 with offer of conditions for approximately 3 acres, a portion of parcel 11-01-351-002, also known as 2075 Oakland Drive, being part of Highland Golf Course, from its existing ARR Agricultural and Rural Residential Zoning District to RM Multiple Family Zoning District for the development of 8-unit attached and detached residential condominium project consistent with a concept plan by Meyer Architects dated December 12th, 2025.
Support, Sylvia.
Okay, moved and supported. Anybody have any discussion? All right, the vote, please. Are we supposed to?
Can you turn on the mic?
I have an objection to the packet that was included on this because the individuals of the neighborhood were not notified of the new meeting at the planning commission to step in and speak about it. But there was a previous meeting where the comments were made, and some of the comments were miscategorized in the latest meeting of the planning commission. And I believe that the township board should have the comments of the residents of the area, including those of 2184, who made the comment that modifying that area with a driveway, and especially where it's located, will route the water into his yard, and he already has flooding problems in that area. On top of that, it's a single family residential neighborhood, and you're putting duplexes in there. I didn't realize the golf course was going to become like downtown Milford.
All right, that's your
Yeah,
opinion.
that's the
Thank you.
comments that were made. You know, so I believe the board needs to table this, read through the minutes of the previous planning commission to ensure that the constituents' concerns are addressed.
All right, thanks for your comments. Vote, please.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
Charlie, yes.
Mrs. Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
And the water situation was discussed. And the other part is you see how many people are in this building right now? If these people are really that concerned about it, they should be showing up. And they don't.
I believe that water issue was discussed.
What's that?
The water runoff was discussed. at
Yes,
the
It
last-
was. Yes, it was dealt with. So, next item is, possible closed session. So, before we start on this, I have a question for you. I'd like to bring my assistant into that meeting. Is there anything, I just need the board to approve it?
No.
Yeah. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to allow Cassie Blasek to attend the closed session meeting because of the information she has that will assist in the conversation.
Support.
What?
And
It's a vote about whether we're gonna go into closed session also.
Yes. This is first is approve her, or do we have to do it in one? Two motions is what I'm doing. Yeah. Right. Okay, so it's just a vote to approve her to come in the. Yep,
To go in.
okay. I'm going to support that.
support.
Okay, vote.
All right, Mr. Sharlick,
Charlie, yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Okay, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Yes.
Long
All right. So the next is to make a motion to go into into closed session to consider the purchase or lease of real property in accordance with MCL 15.268(1)D.
Support.
Okay, vote please.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
Charlie, yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Hamel, yes. Everybody, ready? I'd like to make a motion to, return to open session.
Support, Salvia.
Moved and supported, vote please.
Okay. Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe.
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
Yes.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel.
Yes. All right, so I'd like to make a motion for our attorney to develop a letter of intent to purchase real estate. Need anything else in there? That should be it.
Nope.
Okay,
Frederick, second.
okay. Vote please.
Mr. Salvia,
Salvia, yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Howe,
Yes.
Mr. Sharlick,
No.
Miss Frederick,
Yes.
Clerk Flowers votes yes. Mr. Hamel,
Hamel, yes.
motion carries.
All right, meeting adjourned.